It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio with us today. We're sitting down with Better Business Bureau's Marilyn Huffman. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
BBB.org.
Yes.
Marilyn's always nice enough to come in the month of November and sit down with me and do a show. We're going to talk about veteran scams today and some other scams that are going on in the area. But then she's going to stick around. We'll do another show that's going to air the week of Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And that will be about safe holiday shopping, which we do with you every year as well. So if there's anything new that we need to talk about there. But just a reminder so you don't get scammed and you don't get ripped off during the holiday season.
Exactly.
It's the worst, right? It'd be the worst.
It is. It's already a tough time of year for so many people, and then to be taken advantage of, that just can ruin the mood.
It's the nail in the coffin.
Exactly.
But today we're going to talk about veteran scams. Now, before we get into the veteran scams, we have a guy who works here, and his wife received this letter that gives explicit directions on how to deal with this check right here, this fake check. So that was one scam. They, of course, did not fall for it, but they gave me a copy of it so I could show it to you today.
Good.
But yeah, she got a fake check in the mail, and it talks about going to Walmart, getting the gift cards, and you send this money back to us, and yada, yada, yada. And it all looks very official. Prescott Fire Department, although it's not happened there, Prescott Fire Department is talking about there's a text now that's going around where they say, hey, do you want a t-shirt of your local fire department? It's going to have their logo on it. It's going to be, what do they call it, like a special type series type shirt? That sort of thing?
Limited edition.
Limited edition. And if you send us this much money, we'll send you that shirt, and then all the money goes to the fire department. It's not true. It's not going to go to the fire department. It's going to go in somebody's pocket. Power scams, APS, gas utilities, all the utilities are saying, don't fall for that one. It's getting colder. You're going to get that phone call saying, hey, you haven't paid your power bill. If you don't pay that right now, we're going to shut your power off. Well, how do I pay you? Go get some gift cards. No. Gift cards are for gifts.
100%.
We'll talk more about that in the next show, too.
Yes.
And then our Attorney General put out one that talked about bank scams where they call you and it says, hey, I'm with your bank, yada, yada, yada. And they try to get your information from you so then they can access that stuff from their own computer. And what was the other one? That was the bank scams. And he had one other one, too. That was it. There may have been a second one, too, but I just don't recall what it was now. Tax scams.
Oh, it's starting to, go into that season.
Yeah, so tax scams as well, where they're calling it to, plug in you for your information, stuff like that. So
phishing.
And that's just November. And we're only halfway through it.
It is a constant battle.
It is a constant battle.
It is a constant battle, and you need to be vigilant. I've said it before, I will continue to say it, the moment that you think you are invulnerable is the moment you are most vulnerable. So if you had been in a situation where you financially were in need and you received a check in the mail and you hear that it's a legitimate company like Walmart, you might get excited and think, this is amazing, I can do this and earn some extra money. And that's a big thing we're hearing nowadays, is that everyone wants a side hustle. Everyone wants to earn a little extra money on the side. Maybe it will turn into a full-time business and I can own my own company later in life, that kind of thing. And you kind of go down this rabbit hole and you end up falling for it. And the sad thing about that is if you do put the check in your bank, and if for some reason your bank doesn't catch that this is a scam, because they do look legitimate, then you're responsible for any of that money that you spend. And so that's why we really work hard to try to prevent that from happening. We don't want people to fall for that.
My wife works for a financial institution, and she actually works in the fraud department, so I hear about these cases. And
she knows.
The sweetheart scam ones are probably her most difficult ones to convince somebody that this person does not love you, they're not going to come and marry you. They are literally trying to take you for every penny you have.
Correct.
And they're difficult to get those to turn around because it's grabbing at somebody's heart, You know
what's really sad too is
involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And on those, they tend to say that they're overseas or military.
Exactly.
And I have had even a young teenager that I know at one of the presentations that we do pretty regularly in my area in Prescott, and she ended up falling for that. She ended up falling for this guy online, and it's just, they will prey on anyone that they can that they know they could take advantage of. They'll say, it's the first time I've ever felt this way. They'll claim love immediately and then start asking for little things here and there and slowly build to the big ask. And by then, someone is invested. And
thousands of dollars sometimes.
Yeah, and they're invested emotionally.
Emotionally, yeah.
That's what scammers do. They prey on emotions and they prey on fear.
Yeah.
So they'll try to do either or. They'll either build the emotion, the rapport, the good emotion, or they'll scare you. Yeah. And that's what this one is doing, where people are posing as government officials and they are reaching out to people, usually through a letter in the mail, because there's been a lot of education that's gone out through people like us, through the Consumer Protection Agency, through the FTC, letting people know the government doesn't really call you. They don't really send emails, but they send letters. So now they just have a letter. It looks very official. It has seals on it, U.S. government, yada, yada, yada. And it will claim to come from a court or a law enforcement agency. And the scammers will combine some kind of personal information that they've collected from online. So when you think about it, we give away a lot of personal information, whether it's on, and people always say, well, I'm not online that often. It's like, well, do you have a CVS card? Do you have a Fry's card? Do you get money back at the grocery store from Safeway, those kind of things? You've given them your name, sometimes your middle initial or your middle name, when you filled out that little form. You gave them your email address, your phone number, so they can make it seem as if they know you or as if they're familiar.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the thing, right? That's the start, is to make that connection.
Correct.
Get this person to trust me, or as you said, fear me.
Yep, exactly.
And then, boom, I gotcha.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then if they can hook you enough to read the entire letter, then you get to the bottom and you see that the correspondence looks legitimate, that there's a watermark on it, and it looks real. And the letter will inform you that you've violated some type of federal law or tax statute. And that is what gets a lot of people. And they offer you two choices: to cooperate or to face indictment for serious crimes.
And this is a veteran scam? A veteran type scam, or is this a scam in general?
This is a scam in general.
Okay.
But veterans and veteran families tend to be targeted more than almost any other group.
And why is that? Because it's federal government sending out the information or the requests, or?
I believe, honestly, it's because they're more vulnerable. So it can happen to people who are overseas serving, and they're not here. They're not here to take care of their issues. So when they get a call from their mom or their parent, another parent, or their family member, their spouse, their significant other saying, oh my gosh, this came in the mail, what do I do? Or maybe they need to move, but they're not physically here to handle it. So we believe it has something to do with that they're a little bit easier of a target. They're also, like seniors, usually guaranteed a specific income every month. So you know that they have money. And so because you know that they have money, they are more likely to be targeted by a scammer.
Makes sense. Why target somebody that doesn't have money?
Absolutely. Right. And of course, seniors tend to have more money when it comes to retirement, things like that. But it's the fact that it's guaranteed money. So they're guaranteed their payment through the military. And so because of that, they are taken advantage of on a regular basis.
You have got to be a pretty low down person to be taking money from our older citizens, our veterans, and scamming. I don't know how you could go to sleep at night.
I think low down is actually very kind of you.
I know. Well,
Yes.
You got to keep it reasonable here, Marilyn. But
correct.
Yeah,
correct.
It is absolutely. We have to take a break, but I'm just shocked every time you come in here. The things people are willing to do to others to just make a little bit of money. It's gross. Better Business Bureau's Marilyn Huffman is with us today. We're talking about veteran scams right now. Scams in general, just need to be really careful. BBB.org is the website you want to go to for more information. Stick around, Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
Who doesn't dream of home improvements? Perhaps your kitchen, the real living room. Maybe the bathroom, where you bookend your day. Langstrand Contracting is your one-stop shop from tear down to finishing touches. With 35 years of experience, Chris and his team will work with you to match your family's style and budget. Call Langstrand Contracting today for guidance in bringing your vision to life.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
Your carpet is the largest air filter in your home, trapping dust, dirt, and germs from the air that your family members breathe, even the furriest ones.
That's why it's important to keep your carpet and tile clean and hygienic with regular cleanings by Zero-Res. Zero-Res uses state-of-the-art technology and ZR water, not soap or harsh chemicals, so zero residue is left on your home surfaces.
Schedule your appointment today because a clean home is a healthy home. Visit ZeroResNorthernArizona.com.
The mouth is the gateway to the digestive system. Studies indicate a correlation between oral health and full body health. Regular cleanings and checkups can help protect you. New patients are welcome at Arizona Smile Designers in Cottonwood. There's a full smile worth of services all offered under one roof. Whitening and cosmetic to implants and smile reconstruction. Find out more or request an appointment online at azsmiledesigners.com.
Welcome back to Countywide. Better Business Bureau's Marilyn Huffman with us in studio today. We're talking about scams. We're kind of focusing on veteran scams and scams that target veterans and veterans' families as well. BBB.org is the website. So you wanted to add a little bit more to what we were just talking about.
Yes, so you received a letter in the mail, it looks official. They've basically said you need to cooperate as a witness or face indictment for various crimes that they're accusing you of. And then what's worse is they don't stop there. They will follow it up with a call. Did you get our letter? Making it seem even more official and even more real. And basically what they're doing is they're just using scare tactics to threaten you and to try to get you to respond. And we actually had a gentleman who reported this experience that he had personally on our BBB scam tracker. And he said, I received a voicemail message to return the call. I called the county sheriff's office, and when I called, the man said, you've been summoned to court, and that I had been notified by mail of the summons. So I have the summons in the mail when I go and check in the mail, and he's called. And not only that, he knows my address, he knows my middle name, he knows personal information about me. And so this gentleman luckily hung up and contacted his local Better Business Bureau, and we were able to help him avoid that.
Wow.
But he said it was just like a barrage. It was just coming at him. He gets this call, it scares him, he goes and checks the mail, and there it is right there in the mail. So
and then you got to start wondering, right? Because the person on your phone leaving a voicemail's got your name, address, age, maybe your social, a few other things. No, maybe not.
Yeah. Well, no, if they have your social security number.
I guess they don't even talk to you anymore, do they?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I would say some people fall for it.
Yeah.
And if you do fall for the phishing scams and you do provide that type of information, it's not the end of the world. Just take a deep breath and immediately contact the Social Security Administration. Contact your bank that you work with, report it to them, because the sooner you can report, then the sooner they can stop something from happening or reverse something from happening.
Do you know how much money we have to spend each year dealing with this stuff? The country?
Billions.
Billions, huh?
It is billions.
And then the hassle for an individual to have to go through and fix all of their things because they accidentally, they gave some information out that they shouldn't have.
Correct.
Now all your accounts are, oh my gosh.
Well, and I know prior to COVID, the FBI had reported $7 billion worth of loss. $7 billion for fraud of some kind. That was prior to COVID.
Yeah.
Now, after this experience, we've had so many good things come out of being able to do more things online, being able to better communicate with family and friends and things like that, but it has opened up a whole new world for scams.
Yeah.
And so that number, I'm sure, has gone up.
I know when they were putting the money out for rent, for people with rent during this, a lot of it did not go to people who needed it to pay their rent. It went to scammers.
Correct.
Yeah.
It happened to a gentleman who's on my advisory council. He gets a call at work and someone had filed for unemployment in his name, and he was being taken to court, by the IRS. And so he had to prove this was not him. He's like, I own a business. There's no way I would have been collecting unemployment. But it opened up the door for a lot of things to be, a lot of scammers to unfortunately take advantage of people.
Yeah.
It's true.
Maybe we should talk a little bit. So, okay, maybe what are some of the other veteran scams? I mean, I've seen on your America's vet dogs.
So yes, this is
the charity. We got the veteran charities too. So maybe we should do that because we got a little bit of time before we take the next break.
We do.
So let's hit that up now too.
Absolutely. So BBB standards for charity accountability. You can go to give.org. And give.org is where we vet all charities. But you can actually go there and see where the legitimate veterans help, veterans charities are located.
Okay, so that's give.org.
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 Correct. Okay. And it is true, there is America's Vet Dogs, the Veterans Canine Unit. And they work with people who have PTSD, suffer from that. So you want to make sure that when you're giving money to veterans, because we do want to give back, we do want to help the people who help protect us.
Sure, sure.
And so you want to make sure that that money is going to a legitimate, there's been a lot of big name companies that have been splashed across the news in recent years. Even Susan J. Komen was involved in a scandal where someone was utilizing their name and collecting money for breast cancer. So before you give, make sure you go to give.org and check to make sure it's a valid charity. And I always suggest to people that you give locally. Get
we always
involved.
Suggest that when you're here.
Call your VFO? Call your local veterans. Call them and find out how you can get involved. Do they need coats? Are there veterans that don't have jobs, but maybe they don't have business attire? You know, those are the types of things that we can do to give back to our local community. And I do really believe that our solutions start local.
Oh, I do too.
They really do.
Yeah.
So
help us here.
You can give to a federal charity, that's fine. Make sure you vet them. And then honestly, you can ask those questions too before you give. How much of the money that you're giving is actually going to help the problem that they claim they're helping? And that's really important.
That's an important part too. Yeah, how much of this $50 am I giving you that's actually going to go towards the problem? Right.
Exactly. Is 45 going to administrative costs or to some you know, person running the charity, and $5 is going to the actual charity? Or is that $50 that you're giving, is the bulk of that, 80% of that going? And I believe that the fairness or accountability that we hold charities to is a 60-40, where 60%, so at least over half of their proceeds should be going to the actual solution that they claim they're doing. So if they're feeding homeless, if they're helping veteran families, whatever it is that they're doing, at least 60%, if not more, should be going to that charity. And if it's not, then I would say you need to search for something local and give to local. Stop giving to the national at that point.
And if you want to give to the veterans, you mentioned it just a second ago, then call the local veteran. I mean, you could probably call the Prescott VA and say, hey, what are some good charities, local charities that I could donate my money to that are going to make sure they're going to take care of our local veterans that come back from war
100%.
And are living here. Yeah.
There are small little charities everywhere that people just aren't necessarily aware of. And so once you make, I know, for example, Yavapai County has U.S. Vets. And U.S. Vets sounds very general and very broad, but if you look it up, u.s.vets, that's for Yavapai County. They really are focused on providing jobs for veterans, providing safe haven for veterans that might be homeless, because there's a lot of mental illness, you know, after a person has gone through some really horrific things. And so they offer help. They offer a stable place for people to turn. And it's pretty amazing. And I would much rather know that when you give locally, you can see your money at work.
Exactly.
When you give nationally, it's a little harder to track.
Right. Let's take our second break. Better Business Bureau's Marilyn Huffman in studio today. BBB.org is for the Better Business Bureau. Then, as Marilyn mentioned, give.org is a great place to go to if you're thinking about doing some charities as well. Give.org. Those should all be legitimate charities. Stick around. Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
Terrifying Jobs, Bull Rider, take 2. Cliff, this seems like a really terrifying job. Why do you do it?
I love protecting the bull riders when they get bucked up.
How big are these bulls?
12 to 2,200 pounds of pure muscle.
You're not cowed by any of this, obviously. Is there anything that scares you?
Yeah, distracted drivers terrify me.
Two things we can count on every year.
A new set of tax rules and great weather here in northern Arizona.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, locally owned and operated by Lewis Rice since 1997, is here for you all year long.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Office will help you in all of your taxing situations.
Electronic filing is always free with your tax preparation at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service.
Get more in return. Call 1-800-234-1040 for an office near you.
The EPA says C&B Construction ranks in the top 1% nationally. C&B Construction invites you to see what energy efficiency and indoor air quality can be. We have won another Department of Energy Innovation Award, and C&B Construction is the only contractor in the country to win 6 consecutive EPA Indoor Air Plus awards. Experience our zero-energy, move-in ready homes at Crossroads at Mingus.
C&B Construction, locally respected, nationally recognized. Find out more at C&B homes.com.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
Welcome back to Countywide Better Business Bureau's Marilyn Huffman with us today. Website is bbb.org or give.org. Can we talk a little bit more about the give.org?
We certainly can.
Is that like the #1 shopping place for people to go to find a charity they want to, or?
I would say,
yeah.
Basically, give.org is Better Business Bureau's Wise Giving charity site. And the Wise Giving charity, there's 22 standards that the charities are held to. We have information online available. We put out a quarterly magazine with updated information and articles. And what I love about it is that it will show you, out of the 22 standards, that they have met all of them. And so they are considered, a BBB accredited charity, or they have met some of them, and then you can find out which ones they haven't met. So for you and for everyone else, we all have different levels of what we think is important. So I really appreciate the way that they lay it out, because maybe there's a charity that you're interested in giving to and they haven't met 2 levels or 2 of the 22 standards. Okay. But maybe those 2 standards, you as a person are like, oh, I don't feel like that is that important. Okay. What they do outweighs meeting that standard. Okay. And so I really appreciate the honesty that's available there, and that you can go and you can really make a weighted, measured decision before you give away your hard-earned cash.
Okay, and then we should mention Give Tuesday is coming up a week from this next Tuesday. So we'll talk more about that with the next show we're going to do with Marilyn. It's going to air on the week of Thanksgiving. We'll talk a little bit more about Give Tuesday, but keep the give.org handy in case you do want to give to it. Now, we've got about a minute left here, a minute and a half. If I'm a veteran or a family member of a veteran and I get this stuff in the mail, I was thinking, okay, so call and confirm, but they've got phone numbers attached to their stuff, so you shouldn't do that. You should find the actual government agency and contact them. Correct.
And if you don't know where to go to get that, contact the Better Business Bureau. We're a resource center. We will help you find the information that you need. So if you're not able to locate it online, if you're just not sure what you're looking at, that's what I always say. If you don't know where to look, start with us, because we'll help you find it. That's kind of what we do. We spend our days doing this for people, really trying to help guard people and keep them safe from being taken advantage of.
I feel like it's harder and harder to trust anybody anymore.
It is.
To be honest, you mentioned you get a phone call. If my phone rings, there is no way anybody's trying to call me on my phone. It's always a don't hang up, and
well, most phones aren't
really,
phones anymore.
My warranty has been expired for years. I know that. Yeah, but they still try. But anyways, we're out of time. So I appreciate that. But again, Marilyn's going to be here for next Tuesday's show on Countywide, and we'll be talking about some safe holiday shopping, so you're going to want to tune in for that one. But thank you for being here, Marilyn.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Website again, bbb.org, and then for charities, visit give.org. Give it a look over. That's today's Countywide. As always, we thank you for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.